Hello and welcome to another tutorial on PHP. In this tutorial we're going to look a little bit more at echo statements and we're also going to look at comments. So in the previous tutorial we looked at setting up PHP, getting ready to code in PHP and MySQL, and we did do a simple echo statement saying hello world. So we print the message saying hello world to the user. So we're going to use the echo statement again today, but we're going to do a little bit more with it. So as you can see here, I've got a PHP file. I'm using Sublime Text to code, and this PHP file is called index.php, and I've already got the PHP opening and closing tags written there. If I go to Chrome, you can see this is the address here. So there's nothing in this web page at the moment, or PHP file. I've got my XAMPP folder in my applications folder. I went into XAMPP, and then if you go into htdocs, that's where you can put all of your PHP files. I have an index.php file in here, but I also created a folder called tutorials, and inside that I've got index.php. So you could either access that by typing in localhost, and then if you've got another folder, you can type in the folder's name, and then you can type in the file name, which is index.php, or you can just type in /tutorials and it will automatically load the index.php file. So it will just look for index.php, and that's the page that will load. So I have the XAMPP manager running, I've got the Apache web server running, so I'm all set up to code in PHP and test it out. And this is my file here in Chrome, and this is my file here that I'm working on in Sublime Text. Okay, so just some notes, just making sure that everything's set up before we get started. Okay, so last tutorial we looked at using the echo statement. So using echo and then in quotation marks saying something like hello world, and just remembering to end each line in PHP or each statement with a semicolon. Okay, so don't forget that. Alright, so that's how you display something on the screen. If I save that and refresh, I get that message there saying hello world. You can actually say print as well, and that will do the same thing. So if I refresh, it does exactly the same thing. But if you're coding in PHP, you might prefer to use echo. So if you've come from Python or C#, you might be used to print. Then you can use print and that will work, but echo is what I'll use in these tutorials. Okay, now an important thing to remember is with quotation marks, you can use double quotation marks, like I've got here, or you can use single quotation marks. All right, so that will result, if I refresh the page, it will give it the exact same result. But what if you had double quotation marks and you actually wanted to put quotation marks or a quote inside your string? So if you put something like he said hello inside the string, so I've got my quotation marks here for the beginning and end of the string, but I've also got a quote here inside double quotation marks. If I go and refresh the page, we get an error here. We get a syntax error. It says unexpected hello. And that's because it thinks that this is the string here. So as soon as it sees this quotation mark here, PHP thinks that that's the end of the string, and it sees this word here, hello. It doesn't interpret hello as meaning anything important in PHP, doesn't know what to do with that, and it spits out a syntax error. So what you can do to get around that is you could put the print or the echo statement, the string, inside single quotation marks. So we could try that. Refresh, and that works. So what you could do is you could have single quotation marks for the actual string, and then that quote inside the double quotation marks. But what if you wanted to put single quotation marks inside the message as well? Well, that would cause some issues. So what you can do is, say if we wanted to put this back inside double quotation marks, we could actually escape these two quotation marks here using a backslash character. So that's an escape character, and what it will basically do is tell PHP to treat the next quotation mark that it sees after that backslash, to treat it literally. So to treat it as an actual quotation mark in the string and not the end of the string. Okay, so if we put a backslash before these two quotation marks, then we refresh and we don't get any error. Okay, so that's worked. You can just escape those double quotation marks using a backslash. Okay, the next thing we'll look at is comments. So comments are used inside code to explain what the code is doing. So it's really handy to explain what the code is doing to other developers, and can also be used at the beginning of code to give some information about the file. So maybe identify the author, the date that the code was written, maybe some instructions for its use, the purpose. So comments are just information that you can put inside your code to explain what's going on or what it is. They're not treated as instructions by PHP. Now, you could do single line comments, or you can do multiple line comments. Single line comments are written using 2 forward slashes. So I can put 2 forward slashes and then say this is a comment. And you can see that it's grayed out. So this isn't actually going to be treated as PHP code. It's not going to be treated as an instruction. It's just a comment. So if I save and refresh, we don't see that message there at all or any error there in the page. Okay, so you could use a comment up here to say like this file was written by so-and-so on this date, and then maybe the name of the file and what its purpose is. So that's a single line comment. You can also write multiple line comments, and they start with a forward slash and an asterisk or a star, and end with a star and a forward slash. Okay, notice that when I don't finish off that multi-line comment, it will treat everything below as a comment. So it grays out all of the rest of your code. So if you're doing multiple line comments, it's really important to remember to finish it off there. So anything inside these forward slashes and stars will be treated as a comment. So this is a comment, and go down to a new line, this is a comment, and so on. Okay, so all of that is comment, and it won't be treated as instructions. Okay, so you can also, just as a little side note here, for a single line comment, instead of using 2 forward slashes, you can also use a hashtag as well. And some developers like to use hashtags or hash keys to make blocks so that their comments stand out. So they might put a line of hashes, and then they might do something like this. So they might put everything inside a box like that. Alright, so that's something that some developers like to use hashes to make a box and then put comments inside there, and it really does stand out. Okay, let's get rid of that. So that's all for this tutorial. Bit of basic stuff about the echo statement and adding comments to your code. Thanks for watching.